Welcome to aminacademy.com. In psychology of sex, let us discuss about the pleasure of sex. The pleasure of sex arises from the factors including the release of neurochemicals such as oxytocin and dopamine and the sense of connections expressed through touching, massaging and cuddling. There is no one way to be sexual, and there is enormous variations in the activities that people find arousing. Men are especially stimulated by visual imagery. About 90% of young men report using pornography with some regularity. Many couples today engage in behaviors that were once perceived as atypical, including dominance, play, and anal intercourse. Researchers now understand that flexibility in sexual repertoires is healthy and generally enhances relationships. Clinicians regard specific behaviors as problematic only when they create harm or distress for one or both partners or when the behavior is compulsive. That is, it becomes the only means of arousal. Sex addiction is a label often used to suggest an excessive or pathological interest in sex, but studies show that this perception is more tied to one's moral or religious outlook than to actual sexual practice. Now, let us discuss further detail about the pleasure of sex. The psychology of sex is a vast field exploring how thoughts, emotions, relationship, and cultural factors influences sexual desire, response, pleasure, and behaviors, going beyond purely biological functions. It emphasizes that sexual pleasure is a multifaceted experience encompassing cognitive and emotional satisfaction, not just physical sensation. The field addresses how psychological factors can contribute to sexual dysfunctions, the importance of open communication in relationships, and the role of sex in bonding and overall well being. Desire and motivation. Sexual interest is a fundamental human drive, and people engage in sexual activity for various reasons, including pleasure, intimacy, emotional connections, and self esteem. Cognitive and emotional factors, our thoughts, feelings, fantasies, and beliefs significantly shape our sexual experience and satisfaction. Relationship and intimacy. The quality of emotional intimacy, trust, and communications with a partner profoundly impact sexual response and fulfillment. Sexual response cycle. Psychological factors can influence various stages of the sexual response cycle, leading to issues like low desire or an inability to orgasm. Sexual pleasure. Pleasure is defined broadly as physical and psychological satisfaction derived from erotic experience and is influenced by a combination of physical, cognitive, and emotional components. Sex diversity. From a psychological perspective, sexual orientation and expressions exist on a continuum rather than as rigid categories. Why it matters? Overall well-being, sex is deeply connected to overall health and can provide emotional healing, stress reduction, and a sense of vitality. Addressing problem. Understanding the psychological aspects is crucial for addressing sexual dysfunctions, relationship problems, and improving sexual satisfaction. Fostering connection. Open communications about needs, boundaries, and preferences is essential for building strong emotional connections and lasting satisfaction in sexual relationship. So far we discussed about, in psychology of sex, we discussed about the pleasure of sex. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.